You know I want that. No max level.
I think the thing with something like that in a game like Darkness Falls / Rises is that you have a lot of skeptics. When you see a level 80, or a level 85, like, oh yeah, right, like he's not legit. And then if something, people just probably wouldn't believe that some players would get that high level. They might not like the game as much. Yeah, that's true. I think that we can't control it perfectly. We can't say that there's no limit, and we also can't quite say that there's no point in getting those titles if there were no max title, if that makes sense. So it's basically cheapening the worth of it, but not making it overpowered. So it's like you can't. One scale has to run out before the other, and whichever one is the lesser evil kind of has to, we have to go with that, I think. Yeah, so. Yeah, no, there's some truth to that, Johnny, but I think maybe people just need to consider that the game wasn't around long enough for people to do what they wanted to do. So if the game lasts just say twice as long, then you might have people that have a couple of 75s, maybe a max realm title or two. So then it's really just a matter of is the game worth playing, just for the fun of it, rather than trying to get one character godlike or something. You can only go so far, every game has invisible walls. Almost every game. Yeah, Johnny, that's the thing. I mean, that's kind of separates the group, between people that play games for different reasons. There's basically 4 different categories for players, right? You have adventurers, you have socialites, you have the PvPers, basically the competitive people, and then you have like an even 4th archetype still. So we can't say, oh, we're gonna have it this way, and then it'll be perfect for that one person that, oh yeah, that's awesome, and then 75% of the population's like, oh, this sucks. So I think we all have to at some point realize that it's a game and there's certain rules, just like every game does, and in theory, if that's the direction that we go, then that's the downside of making a game, I guess. It can't just be endless and endless and endless. If we wanted it to be endless, it would be World of Warcraft, and it would basically be a terrible game. So I know, right? Yeah, so if the game isn't fun, then nobody's, why play it? I think that if it's, as long as it's fun, then you can enjoy the game, you can live your life outside of the game, and it'll be there for you when you want to have fun. So it's something that we didn't have before. It was a limited amount of time, and I think a lot of us were so young that obviously we crave it still, so we never kind of fulfilled our fun quota for Darkness Falls. So I think that's a new experience for everybody to have in any project that eventually comes out that's similar to it. So you won't be like fiending over the game as much, I think. So that's why I'd rather just have quality over quantity, honestly. Yeah, I want to go outside at some point, exactly. And another thing is that, keeping the game difficult enough so that if you, say, leveled a skeleton to 75 and then you got max rank title and you've got awesome gear and you've accomplished that's quite a bit, right? If it's difficult, it would take a long time, so that would be a pretty epic adventure. So say you enjoy the game enough to keep playing, hopefully it's as difficult as it was the first time, minus your knowledge as a player of the game. So you start a sin or something that's a little more difficult to begin with, and it could take you even longer. So I think it's safe to have a quality game that just might have a couple of caps to it, and then that way the player experience can multiply based on how many characters there are to play. So if you do all the realms, you can play for forever. So I think I'd rather stick with that than change it up too much. But I'm still open to the idea. Don't get me wrong. If I had a basement, wink. We do have a spare bedroom though, Crows. Big enough for one medium-sized family. Yeah, and then don't forget releasing and losing experience along the lines. I'm sure at least a couple on average, if not more. So, and then you die and lose your gear. That's more time added to it. So, that's all kinds of reasons. And then I think that there will be a point, though. I agree that say that everything goes beautifully and everybody's happy and everybody has 3 plus 75 characters, right? And everybody loves the game so much, but they're kind of running out of things to do, and it's becoming a concern for the majority of the players. And like, okay, all right, let's see what we could cook up, So it's not something that we want to concern ourselves with from the start. So I'm definitely not saying no to some kind of epic experience, that works within this kind of game system beyond 75 and beyond realm ranks, So it would have to be something pretty deep and expansive to really fit the bill, I think. Man, that's a ton. That's true. So yeah. Uh-oh, Ernum's got the Jones. I guess we won't be seeing him for a week. Have a good night, dude, and best of luck. Don't break any more controllers. Nix asks, are we taking prisoners and executing enemies players?
That's hardcore.
I don't know quite what you mean, like, just to like jail and ban people, or like people that I don't like in general. Yeah, next, I'm not sure quite what you mean by that question.
Will we ever get off this island? I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. It's very in depth. I like it. I like gruesome stuff like that, but I mean, it's a little bit of work to yeah, to do that. I think that anything that makes your character incapacitated for long periods of time, because I mean, how long would it take for you to drag a character maybe over land or just on the boats, you know, and keep them unconscious or something? So that's pretty detailed. I like it, but that sounds like a lot of work.
Alright guys, time for me to go put this bird to bed. It was fun talking to everybody, especially you, Vassi. I appreciate you giving us the answers to a lot of questions, man. It was really nice of you to do the interview tonight.
Alright, man, I'll have a good evening, and best of luck with the bird.
Thank you, bud. You have a good night.
Alright, you too.
Later.
Thank you. Get these tunes going there. Yeah, there was an old mud that when you killed somebody or anything, there was a small chance that it would drop a body part. So it'd either drop a head or a heart or entrails or something like that. Maybe you could have a mechanic where you choose one enemy corpse, I guess, as your sacrifice, and by doing that you have to do some sort of ritual or you have to pay something somehow, maybe like 25 realm points per person or something. And then the goal would be to get it back to your realm, to a specific room, like a shrine, just for sacrifices, and you have to do it within the time limit of that person's release timer. So if you actually get it off, or you get it, get the character sacrificed, then you get, such and such, like 100 realm points or 200 realm points or something. It'd be like capture the flag, but with corpses. Exactly. Nah. Alright, brother. Have a good night. That leaves me to fend off the evildoers and their crazy ideas for about 30 more minutes, guys. And we'll call it a night after that. And definitely thanks for tuning in, and I've been thinking about ways to kind of keep you guys more entertained on the main screen.